Are we?
I don't know. Man, it's so weird, like Chuck not being there.
Oh. It's been a long time since Chuck missed an episode.
Wait, has he ever? Oh, he voluntarily didn't do Buckaroo Banzai.
Well, yeah, and then when we actually brought him on, he missed the first 2 or 3.
Oh.
Once we're like, yeah, you can officially be a member, and then he promptly got con flu, up in Chicago or something.
Right.
And so he missed, he missed Snake Eater.
Right.
And I think
Eater Snake.
Yeah, and I think he missed one other one in that streak.
In live.
He was here for Bulletproof, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's because we got to talk about
how he enters his room.
Yeah.
But there was one other one around then. He missed Order of the Black Eagle. I know that.
That's not.
Come
cool.
on.
Okay, that's
apparently,
weird.
And he also
that's
notified
weird.
me.
I'm sorry. The thumbnail is not tonight, and so Chuck's sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
It's that just messed with me for half a second. I was like, what?
Yeah, he did notify me that Order of the Black Eagle will be on MGM HD in the first week of November.
Pro tip, everybody.
Yep. So set your DVR.
Oh yeah, we're live.
What about
Internet?
the Idol? Something.
He did not say anything about unmasking the idol.
That was pretty good too. It's no
Black
Eagle, but it's.
What was that?
I don't know.
That was some really good timing, though.
Yeah.
That's no Order of Black Eagle.
Black.
Please say
Eagle.
the name of the movie. That's your Black Eagle. If you're here to see Order of the Black Eagle, press 1.
Why don't you just say the name of the movie you'd like to see?
Yeah. No, I was just trying to get there to pop out the chat.
Yeah, I know.
No Chucklehead. Sorry.
Yeah, somebody asking about Chuck already. Or
Yep.
Long Lost Chuck. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on a farm. No, wait.
I was not making that joke.
Chuck's under the weather,
Yeah, he is.
so he took a night off. Yeah.
We're all under the weather,
Yeah.
technically.
The weather is riding him like you would not believe. So he's under it.
He's pop locking, cop rocking, cock rocking, the top cop, pop blocking.
So
Lip locking, pop locking, cop
all the
rocking.
Chuckophiles will be out this week.
Yeah. Sorry.
Man.
Chuck Fan Club. Chuck Internet Defense Force.
The CIDF.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Chuck survives this whole horror month.
Right.
Doing it early, and then he's funny. He's like, yeah, there was some guy who commented. He's like, what the fuck? They're all done already? What the shit?
What does that mean?
Yeah,
Like, if you want to watch them during October,
I know.
feel free.
I know. And it's like, why'd you give them to me all at once?
Well, it's like this.
What the fuck's with that?
It's the same argument with Netflix model of here's the entire season. What, you made me sit here and watch it all in one weekend? Like, no, they really didn't. You can watch one a week if you can make yourself.
You can pace yourself. It's fine.
It's fine. No.
I can't watch all these at once.
We need to put governors
Yeah.
on cars because people can't stop at speed.
Yeah, the only thing I can see is missing that whole comment zeitgeist of that first day.
Sure.
But if you actually care, why aren't you subscribed, for one? And for two, why aren't you subscribed? Because it kind of lets you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Yeah, let's just... I can even make this easy. I'm just going to kill the last 2 sentences because that makes the plot summary the part of the movie that's interesting. Done. Easy. Easy plot summary.
So you ready to summarize a plot?
I am so ready to summarize some plots.
Cop Target?
Yeah, I'm just
For
I'm
Coptober?
allowing the time for people to arrive. A couple people have showed up, and we thank you for being here, and we thank you for your support.
Yeah. Thanks. Man.
Don't believe the IMDb. We believe this movie is from 1990.
Yep.
IMDb is often wrong. If you don't believe me, look at how many character names there are in this movie. 3. Everyone else is just the actor.
Mm-hmm. Like Tommy Bull.
Yeah, but
Tommy Bull is an actor and assistant director.
Who did he play, though, is what I'm saying. In
known
the
for
movie.
Karate Warrior 2.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you look at Cop Target. Oh, yeah, by the way, we watched Cop Target. I guess we didn't put...
Oh, hey, surprise.
Cop Target.
Cop Target. Not Top Cop.
Surprise, Pally. It's Cop Target.
Cop Target.
Cop Target.
Target. Targop.
Still no word on Rabid Cop. I don't think anyone that made it wrote Chuck back. Or if they did, he hasn't spoiled that for us. But we did pull an audible. Next week's movie will be better than this week's. We hope.
I almost put in Target Cop, which is totally different. That's Paul Blart 3. Fuck. Target Cop. Oh, you know how they're going to make it that much better? They're going to get Kristen Wiig to do Target Lady.
That would be some...
Oh, man.
Target.
That would
God.
be the best in Paul Blart. Oh, man.
I would laugh once, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, Scott's got it. It's Paula Blart. It's just Target Lady. It becomes Paul Blart. Paula Blart. There you go. I like it. It's going to work for Ghostbusters. Do it for everything.
Yeah.
Gender reversal. Everything.
Yeah. Roadhouse?
Reboot. Complete. Yeah. Well, fuck. Ronda Rousey, though.
Yeah, but think about it. When does it become... when does it go all the way around that we start, flip-flopping it the other way? Like...
Groomsman.
Yeah, groomsman. Yeah, I'm just saying. It's it's got to come eventually. Or, I don't know, like... What's a manly flower that's not a magnolia? Like, we could do steel magnolias, but it's like iron something.
Iron ragweed.
Yeah, I like that. Iron ragweed. I would go see that. Yeah.
Ragweed.
I don't know.
Everyone's sneezing through the entire
You can't
thing.
change both, though, so it's got to be like steel ragweed, or, something like that. It's you got to have some familiarity
be
with the
close
base brand.
enough.
Yeah.
It just to be Steel Magnolias.
Yeah.
But with men.
Steel magnolias.
Steel Magnolias. There you go.
There
Steel
we've got it.
bamboo shoots.
Yeah.
What would be the male version of Terms of Endearment?
Terms of endearment.
Embeardment. They just all
Beardment. There you go. There it is.
Terms of Endearment. So role reversal, Dirty Dancing. Who is the baby that gets put in a corner? And who is the female Patrick Swayze that shows
Jack McBrayer.
shows him how to dance?
Jack McBrayer
Drake.
is my first pick for the baby.
Okay.
Drake.
The lady would have to be
Jay Baruchel.
No, we were. Well, yeah, that he would work too. But I mean, who's the tough,
lady?
The tough?
the tough
Cynthia
Patrick Swayze.
Rothrock.
She's a little old now.
Shut your mouth, Cynthia Rothrock.
Saying.
Ronda Rousey again? I mean, she's the ass-kicking lady du jour.
Yeah, but she doesn't dance.
Doesn't
You
like
need
that's
a
the
dancer.
thing. Yeah, you need someone who's like not tough, like Roadhouse tough, but she can't just be
she's
the delicate. They had to go.
Not Lisa Ling. Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, Queen Bee's a little too old because then you could also do the race reversal too.
Queen Bee?
Beyonce.
Beyonce?
Yeah.
I didn't know that you referred to her as Queen Bee. Sorry.
That's not.
Beyonce.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj. Her dancing is a little less, Swayze and a little more Nicki Minaj, but I think we're ready for a freshening
I don't know if we
up
had
dancing.
if you had Beyonce and like someone like Jay Baruchel, I think she could pull off the lift.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's a wee lad.
He's a wee lad. She could probably one-hand him up.
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
So
podcast.
okay, no, Pretty Woman.
Oh.
However, this time Richard Gere is Julia Roberts.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
Who is the male prostitute with a heart of gold?
Chris Hemsworth. Ladies love him.
That could work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
C. Tate.
Would he do it?
Yes.
C. Ooh. Wait a second.
Ooh,
Go back to
all right.
Dirty Dancing. Cast C. Tate. Have him do the reverse De Niro and like become all skinny. So he's like doesn't look like normal C. Tate.
Oh, no,
But we
can't
know.
do that.
But I'm saying, he by the end.
Oh,
he's
hi,
like,
Chuck.
He's busting out some moves.
Hi, buddy.
You know what I'm
miss
saying?
you.
Like, because we know C. Tate can dance. So
Yeah.
I'm saying like he starts off all like, I'm nerdy and I put glasses on. I'm She's all that. He's
So
all
have
that.
him do a machinist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but that takes away a lot of what C. Tate's charm is.
Sure. That's
The
true.
ladies don't
All right.
want a skinny-fied
Well, see,
C. Tate.
I think the thing is like you've got to find the next up and comer because that was the thing. Is like Jennifer Grey was pretty much
yeah.
Ferris Bueller's sister was like the only reason people knew her.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think you may be right. I think C. Tate is the choice for
For the prostitute.
for Pretty Man.
Okay, pretty man,
Yeah.
pretty gentleman,
Pretty.
But-
whoa,
handsome gentleman,
man.
No, Pretty Man.
pretty man.
He's a pretty
He's
man.
a pretty man. All right.
And Julia Roberts is the Richard Gere. So
I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a good casting choice.
Yep.
yeah.
You're welcome, Hollywood.
Or Sigourney
Yeah.
Weaver.
No, it's got to be Julia Roberts.
It's got to
Or
be Julia
off.
Roberts.
It's
Or-
off.
Okay.
You
All right.
can't remake Pretty Woman without Julia Roberts.
Yeah. No, I think that's.
I bet you can, but you
And
know.
well, the amazing thing is like some of her last roles, she's actually like she's moved into that like matriarchal like role thing. Like she comes in and like does not in like the bad way, but like the older like established like she's not like the CIA contact that someone goes and sees. You know, like I've been around, I've seen some shit. You know, but you know I'm not out in the field anymore because I'm past that.
We're gonna have to revisit this
Yeah. This is the second half discussion
for when we actually are recording,
Yeah.
not just Patreon content for the
Sure.
YouTube people.
Yeah. Well, we filled some time. Let's start a podcast.
Patreon.
So we good? We ready to go?
I guess so.
Sure.
I miss Chuck.
Oh, let me
Chuck misses us.
Let me retweet some tweets first. You know, for all those people I have.
Oh.
Just bringing the whole whatever. I don't know.
All of our fans are here. All 11
Where
of them.
are we doing the like what I missed while I was gone, or is this many tweets really happened since you tweeted? Wow, what is going on? What is happening tonight? I'm not following that many people. There's like
do
there's
you
like
have a
20 there's like 20 tweets before.
Do you have a bunch of wrestling stuff?
Nah.
No? Okay.
All right. Anyway.
NXT, you don't care. Never mind.
All right. NXT indeed.
Nexty.
All right, we are on 294. That's the things I say in the beginning. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is how we prepare. Which is not very well.
Well, obviously, it wouldn't be us if we were prepared.
I know.
It would just not
lose
be
all
the
that
same.
charm, that stuff.
Yeah, charm. That's what it's called.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
Episode 294.
That is a number.
More
Guaranteed.
than the last time. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ. And Chuck's out this week.
Yes.
Sorry, Chuck fans.
Yes. Sorry, Chuck fans.
Yes.
Stick with us, though.
Sorry, Chuck fans.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Chuck fans, and also fans of Chuck.
Yes. But Chuck Ripken Jr. finally decided to miss a game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He did have the current longest streak going.
I think so, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, oh yeah, because Harlow went out of town, so he
Yeah.
missed. He missed a few. We broke into his house and recorded clandestine episodes.
Yep.
Have I missed one lately? It's been a while since I've missed one.
Okay.
Yeah,
to be
but
fair, yes.
Chuck, it's been like 3 years.
Yeah.
So
I've probably missed one since then.
me, I've missed.
Oh yeah, because I go. Well, no. In my vacation, we not do an episode?
Oh, we did.
Last
We just
time I
didn't
went
tell
on
you
vacation.
about it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine.
We didn't put it on the internet or anything.
Oh, okay.
We
You just
recorded it
put
just
one in
for
the bank.
us.
What are we doing?
Put
We
it in
usually
the
have a
bank.
whole thing we do in the beginning. Anyway,
sorry.
let me tell you what
I'm
we
sorry.
do. In case you're still with us, like what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is, we go ahead and we watch ourselves a quote unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half. And
Yep.
we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks, as in robot jocks.
Hooray, Robot Jocks.
Indeed. But the bad movies, they get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, as in douchebags after Twilight.
Boo. Yuck.
Yeah.
Boo indeed.
Don't like it.
So here we are. We find ourselves not only in a theme year of 1990 movies, but a theme month, Coptober,
Coptober.
contained within the 1990 realm, leaving us with more cop movies than you'd think, but maybe less good ones than we thought. So we did Cop Target, 1990.
Cop Target.
Cop
Really, from 1990?
Target.
Huh.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk?
Me.
Yeah.
Let me read a quick plot summary because
Why
we're
don't you do
going
that?
to talk about this.
Good, that's what we do in the first
it's
half.
It's a movie.
And we rate it.
Farley Wood is hired to escort a rich widow of a DEA agent and her kid to the tropical island of San Cristobal. The widow needs protection from a gang of international terrorists, and her escort soon suspects that the deceased husband was involved in dirty drug dealings. Dirty deeds done cheap.
Yeah. That.
Yeah. Terrorists, yes. I mean, because of their actions, but I mean, I believe their original job was just straight up drug dealers. I guess they become terrorists when they get into kidnapping and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
terrorism is really sort of part and parcel to the drug trade sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Their primary employment is drug dealing,
Yeah.
cartelling.
Yeah, that's what they put on their W-2.
Yes.
Right.
Like, they're just drug dealing.
Drug dealing.
Right.
Terrorism, it's more of a side thing.
Right. It's
Yeah.
sort of a job duty that falls under drug dealing.
Yeah, they're on call for terrorism.
Right.
Yes,
Well, I mean,
once a month they have to.
They don't
take a
even
weekend, yeah.
they don't even really like moonlight as terrorists.
No?
It's just part of the job duties under drug dealing.
Okay.
Is dealing drugs,
Sure.
murdering rivals,
Yeah,
Right.
it really,
terrorism.
it depends on who they're sending their CV to. Do they tailor
Right.
it towards
Exactly.
terrorism or
Right.
towards drug dealing?
If they're looking for a new job, but most people kind of stay in the line, you know. So-
Yeah.
Yeah, just under skills. They just put
right.
drug dealing.
They put it on their cover letter.
subterfuge, terrorism.
I excel at the terrorism
Yeah.
part of my job and look forward to terrorizing with your organization as well.
What would you say your biggest weakness is? I don't terrorist enough.
Sometimes I've been known to explode.
Yeah. I'm a little too dedicated
Yeah.
to my terrorism
Right.
sometimes.
I'm just
I'm too much of a terror
I'm
perfectionist.
too vengeful.
I strike a little bit too much terror into people's hearts.
Yeah, so that's Cop Target.
Yeah. So Farley Wood.
Played by Robert Ginty, who
Yeah.
somehow has not been in a BMFcast movie yet.
He seems like a guy that would be in a BMFcast movie.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, he's in like The Exterminator 2, and some other stuff.
Yeah, he was on some TV show in the 70s. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We went like half the movie trying to describe what he looks like. If you're not familiar with who he is, I guess for most people, he's a mix between like the face of Roddy Piper and the hair of John Larroquette.
Yeah, and then a
He
little
also-
bit of like Patrick Duffy thrown in there.
A little Patrick Duffy and this guy, he plays a dumpy cop on something.
I said he looks a lot like Martin Donovan, who was he played like the FBI agent on Weeds. I don't know if you look at him, he looks a lot like this dude, but especially now the older he gets. But I don't know.
And it's go ahead.
No, this is me trying to get to a name. So, if you ever watched House, there was a cop who was trying to, who was sick, who was trying to bust House's balls for something, for the pills and everything, and that cop is the guy that I'm thinking of, but I can't remember his name. God damn it!
I've never watched House.
Neither have I.
Sorry.
Oh well.
I guess one thing to note, it's directed by Umberto Lenzi, who did Cannibal Ferox, which is one of the more notorious cannibal films, and he did Old Giallo and other stuff. And it's like, this feels way out of his element when you look at his filmography.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, like this is not the type of thing that he was known for, especially like an English-speaking cop movie.
Well, he directed it, it says on IMDb, as Humphrey Humbert.
Humphrey Humbert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a weird movie.
Yeah.
David Morse.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah. The only other
He was
person...
Hack.
Yeah,
His most famous role.
That's right.
Hack.
Hack. The only other person that you probably recognize in this is Charles Napier from Everything.
Yeah. You know what Charles Napier
Yeah,
looks like.
Rambo and stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs.
Everything.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, yeah. So this movie, so don't we start with him just foiling a crime, right? Randomly.
He happens to see a guy beating
right.
on a prostitute.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, I want to.
You gotta stop moving that thing, man. Last week was all.
Oh.
That's what I was at. We need
Sorry.
your thing needs some oil can.
Probably.
action.
It's just it's a pain in the ass sometimes.
I know.
So I try to move and yeah. So I think we need to talk about the car real quick because we get
Sure.
a shitload of establishing shots.
Yeah.
They establish the fuck out of this car.
The one thing they don't establish very well is where we are. I mean, it took us a while to realize we were in Miami because, like, they're very cagey with, like, showing you where you are and also license plates. For, like, the beginning of the movie, I was like, where the fuck are they? I'm pretty sure this is Florida, but is this Miami? Because, like, it almost looked like Orlando, except the skyline's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, they somehow managed to avoid showing that car or showing like
Any
the
license
back
plates,
of
yeah.
any
Yeah.
cars for.
A little too long. And they don't bother to have, like, the, hey, here we are. But his car.
His car is a 1980 Chrysler LeBaron, I think.
Sure.
And it is
Beat
the
to hell.
shittiest example of a 19. It's at this point it's only 10 years old, but it looks like it's been sideswiped a couple dozen times, and it's not like crunched up necessarily anywhere. It's just got a bunch of
scrapes
like,
and
scrapes and
well,
rust.
Well,
and-
but, like right away. I mean, we see this drive down the street. Like, wow, what is up with this car? That's a shit box. And then like it doesn't take him very long. He witnesses a crime. He witnesses some guy roughing up a lady in an abandoned lot, and kind of like careens over there to intervene. And he careens to intervene. I like that.
Yeah.
And but he takes out the fence a little bit, and it's like, oh, that's why his car is all scraped to shit. He's just always running it.
'Cause he doesn't care.
He doesn't care, and he's running it through.
He was like
stuff.
all of us in high school.
Yeah.
It's like I paid $300 for this car.
Right. So yeah,
I'm going to get my money's
He
worth.
doesn't like movie style bust through a chain link fence gate.
Just
but
knocks it out
he
of
just
the way,
knocks it out of the
yeah.
way. But I don't know. This just serves like the guy that was roughing up the lady just takes off and he like thinks he's going to shoot him for a second. And he's like no, and then goes to deal with the lady and it's a guy in drag and I guess the implication is he's a prostitute and
Well,
got drugs and
yeah, and he has-
because
yeah,
he
cocaine.
searches his purse and like he's got drugs and he's like all right, you know what to do, we're getting in the car. And basically the guy, lady, whatever, I don't know how he identifies. He's a movie character. He basically is like, cries his way out of the ticket. Essentially, he's like, look, you don't know what it's like on the street. And finally, he's just like, all
And
right,
he makes
fine.
a very salient point. Says, you know what they're going to do to me if
Right.
you put me in prison.
yeah. So
yeah, and he's also like, well, I'm not doing anything bad out here. I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
yeah, like the guy's just like, like if you're ever, it's just kind of funny because like this kind of establishes how much Farley is just like real laid back because I mean this is 1990, it was still. I'm just saying, like the guy like basically comes on and is like, hey, if you're ever lonely, like look me up, or he's like, thanks, all right, see you
I
later.
appreciate the offer.
Stay off the street.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah. Stay off the street.
Stay
and the dope.
clean. Yeah. Finger guns. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets back to the precinct
Uh-huh.
and
And like so many of our cop movies, it's like, hey, we know you have this daily job where you're just kind of a beat cop in a city, but we want you to go to a foreign country because that happens all the time to standard street cop, non-detective
Well,
dudes.
they further establish like how much he's like, I don't really give a shit because they're like, hey, you were supposed to be here like hours ago, and also the chief wants to see you. I covered for you again.
Mm-hmm.
And the chief explains that like, you're all I have that I can really spare.
Yeah.
For this assignment.
So yeah, essentially just a bodyguard mission to go to this island and watch this lady. I don't think he mentions the kid, but she's got a kid too. Anyway, but yeah, so he sees the address and he's like, oh, it must be pay nice to be a diplomat. Or I know the plot summary said DEA agent. I can't really. I think it was like he was a DEA agent working for the embassy
he was
or
a
something.
DEA agent, for sure,
like
but-
working for the embassy. I don't know, but
Yeah.
like they talk about the embassy and envoy and all this stuff like that a lot, but I don't know. Anyway, so like he's like looks at the address like, oh, it must pay nice, and goes there. Like there's a doorman. I mean, this place looks like a hotel.
Well,
and
before he goes there, he goes home.
oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yes, he asked
Yeah.
because
First, he wasn't going to go because he has Dolphins tickets, and that's
Yeah.
what we were like, finally, all right, Miami, yeah.
but he's like, no, you got to be on the plane at like 3. Go get her now.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, can I go home first and get some clothes? And he's like, yeah, fine. So he goes home and he looks for Arthur, his cat. Mm-hmm. He's like, Arthur, where are you, Arthur? And we're like, oh man, it's going to be a puma or something awesome. Because this guy's that kind of guy who would have a fucking puma or
Like
a
a
lynx
big
in his
lizard.
house. Yeah, or
Pet alligator, like
pet alligator.
Crockett here.
No,
I
it's
thought
just
that would be a little bit cliche if they did that, but
but it's just a standard ass cat.
it's a cool looking cat.
However, what he has for his standard ass cat is the world's biggest automatic cat feeder.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's made out of several household electronic components.
I'm trying to think like shape and size wise. What would it be? I mean, it's
like 3 large 80s microwaves big.
Well, yeah, it's like the size of like a waist high curio cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except it's all metal and has grating on part of it, and then it's got a bank of lights that are all different colors, and it's got 2 little doors in the bottom left and right, one of which dispenses the food, and one of which dispenses water.
I'm pretty sure someone who, if there are people out there that know like the whole Umberto Lenzi catalog, they probably tell us that it's either something that was from one of his previous movies or one of his friends or something. You know what I mean? Because like, this prop has no business being in this movie.
No.
There's no way they constructed it for this movie.
No.
And but they take like a long time with it for no reason, just to, fill in some time because.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody was like, "Hey, I'm like, I just had a bunch of spare time and I like playing with electronics and I built this." Or something.
But
it's
the thing
so
is,
out of
it
place.
just lights up. I mean, everything else is like, the only thing that it is like a big silver box with some lights on it. Because everything else, I mean, there's a shot where like the door slides up in the bottom and like you can almost see it's a hand pushing it out.
Right.
But like a bowl comes out like with already like some wet cat food in it, and then another door on the other side opens up and like bowl slides out and like water fills a little bit into it, not fills, but a little bit comes out and it just
Carefully rationing the water.
It just lingers on it and makes this like it has a scale noise as the lights. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just it. That's really that's the end
But
of
we
that.
were just like, they spent a good minute
Oh yeah.
showing this thing feeding the cat.
Yeah.
And that's when we were like, man, we are in for something
It's something
insane here.
Yeah. And it continues to be fun for a while, except for like, so he goes to this lady's building, and like I said, it's basically a hotel lobby because this doorman and the extravagant lobby that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, she'll be down in 30 minutes." And he's like, "Oh, really? 30 minutes? All right. Where can I buy some cigarettes? Because I'm out." And he goes to a store, and this establishes he's just browsing this little bodega convenience store type place, and like this just establishes wherever he goes, violence will break out, guaranteed, within a matter of a few minutes, because like 4 dudes come in to rob the place. Like, not just a simple holdup. Like 4 guys come in to rob this grocery store.
4 guys with guns.
And they're yelling at the cashier and yelling at other people. They grab an innocent bystander and put a knife to her throat and like, do anything, and she dies. And rather than just like let this happen or whatever, he has to cop it up and, like pulls a gun and shoots the dude like that has the cash register at gunpoint. Thankfully, the guy with the knife just drops it and tries to run, and
The other guy just runs.
I think maybe there's only 3, but
Yeah, there's only 3.
Okay, but anyway, like so he gets outside and is threatening to shoot one of the guys that's trying to get on a motorcycle and get away, and just shoots the motorcycle tire. And about that time, a regular patrol car comes up and he's like, "Here, you guys get the collar. I'm busy anyway, and I owe you one.
I'm on special assignment.
Yeah, I owe you one. So here, this is yours." And there's a body inside.
yeah.
You can deal with the paperwork.
Yeah. I fucking murdered that guy. You take care of it.
Yeah, it's yours.
Clean up on aisle 3. Am I right?
But then, like, he gets back to the building. Like, he gets back to this lady's building. She's standing outside with her daughter, a giant pile, like a comical, Princess, what's her name, Vespa or whatever, from Spaceballs size of luggage, like, piled up there. And she's just like, "First you were early and now you're late."
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And the thing is, he doesn't pull rank on her and just be like, "Yeah, I just fucking killed a guy and stopped a murder, stopped a robbery."
Or your doorman said 30 minutes and I've been gone 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but like just right off the bat,
But this starts off with her just being a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way to describe it.
There isn't, and this is not like a misogynistic thing. She's just awful.
Yeah.
She is terrible. Like, really, throughout most of the entire movie, she like redeems herself for 5 minutes where she acts like a human.
Does she?
Yeah, but it's weird.
Well, not even that. I mean, like there's like one point where she's like genuinely upset about the events of it.
Yeah.
But she yells at him, and he's just like, "Okay."
Yeah, he's like, "I don't want to be here either."
Yeah,
so
it's like, well, I'm just here to make sure you're safe, and like they get down to where they are. Like, it just kind of quickly does the like, we're traveling and now we've landed, and like they're at the airport, and a guy from the island is now greeting her, and he's basically just like, she's like, "Deal with my luggage," kind of attitude towards him, and he's just like, seriously? He's like looking around, like having the conversation with nobody except for the camera. Just like, really? What what am I? I'll handle the bags here. You go on ahead. And I don't know. Like, just to jump ahead a little bit because like this movie kind of doesn't go many places for a while. She just continues it. Like they get into the room and like just immediately she's like, I don't remember. She's just being awful.
She goes like, "Why don't you order some room service for us and get this done?" And he's like, "I'm a cop sent here to protect you. I'm not your fucking butler."
Yeah, I mean that was like, all right, I hate you because anyone that's actually ever ordered room service, there's really not anything easier. I mean, you pick up a phone and you push one button and you tell them what food you want to eat. Then they bring it to your room and serve you completely in your room.
Right.
You can be wearing a bathrobe with nothing on under it and have a full dinner brought to you.
Yeah. And you know what?
There's a reason why room service is considered like one of the top of treats of ways to pamper yourself.
Yeah.
And she can't order it.
And she can just charge it to the room.
I know.
Because the government is paying for the room.
I mean, that's the thing.
She's not even paying for being in the presidential suite.
You're honestly yelling at someone to order room service for you? Like, what?
Yeah. And then she's like, "Well, do you have any family?" He's like, "Kinda. I have a cat." And then the girls meet like, "I don't have a cat, Mom. Why can't I have a cat?
I don't have any friends, and I'd like a cat friend."
And he's like, "Yeah, well, if you're lonely, it's nice to have a cat.
Yeah.
When your mom's a complete bitch who won't let you do anything fun and hates you secretly.
Right.
She won't tell you, but she hates you. I'm telling you, this little girl.
Yeah.
She hates you.
She's been
So
angry.
that's why she won't give you a cat.
for roughly 9 or 10 years.
Because a cat might make you happy, so she's denying you that. But yes, he does bond with the little girl.
Yeah, and then like she gets angry about that too. She's just kind of looking over like, I can't believe you're actually.
Don't you talk?
Why
to
are
me
you
that.
making her smile? But yeah, so that's over, and then cut to like next day, and like right off the bat, this establishes like she's perturbed at the idea of having. That was the other thing. Like when they first get to the hotel room, like they've got a suite, and he's like, "Just wait out here in the hallway. I'm going to sweep the room." And she's just like,
Yeah.
like I mean, just like all
she is so annoyed.
all three out the beginning. It's like
sweeping the room.
This
first.
guy is like here to protect you, and she could not be more annoyed by the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like cut to, I mean, more things happen, but
Yeah, she's gambling at the casino.
Yeah.
A guy comes up and says, "Hey, you're real lucky in some aspects."
yeah, because
aren't you?"
she's picking the single number in roulette and hitting every time.
Yeah.
Like
She hits, like, four in a row.
4 in a row, and it's like no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's rigged.
yeah. so like that happens, and it establishes this kind of creepy guy who's hovering around her. Well,
So-
to the next day, they're out. They decide to go out to the beach. Mother and daughter are out on the beach, sunbathing. Daughter's like, "Hey, can I walk around and act like a normal human for a few minutes?" She's like, "Fine." And so the girl's like walking around the beach and talking to random people, and like starts to try to play with another girl. And like the whole time we're kind of watching like boats kind of getting rolled uncomfortably close to the shore, and no one seems to care.
Yeah, and at the same time, he's trying to order a Coke, but they only say they have Pepsi, and they spend like all this time on him ordering a drink.
Like purposely.
Was he trying to order a Coke for the girl?
No, well,
For
maybe.
himself, maybe, I don't know.
Well,
But
they did.
either
She
way-
did ask if she could have a Coke, and
Right.
I don't know if you would have heard that, but whatever. It maybe possibly.
I was wondering.
We'll go with that. But yeah, so this boat's creeping up, and basically 4 guys jump out of the speedboat with guns, like doing the like
Yeah.
nom, like hold the gun out of the water thing, because they jump into
Yeah.
like waist deep water, and like I'm like, no, again, nobody is watching this. Like if boats were this close to the shore at the beach, people would be like, why are they this
Yeah,
close?
at
Like,
a
we're-
resort like
yeah,
this, too.
yeah, and like no one reacts until they start firing wildly into the air.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes chaos. And they send like no less than like 15 dudes. There was like 5 to
bunch of guys,
5
yeah.
to 8
Yeah,
guys
there were
in
like
each boat.
3 boats full of guys.
Yeah. And like they jump out, guns, just firing wildly up into the air, and
Firing all of their guns.
Well, no, they start off by throwing a grenade onto the beach.
Yes, that's true.
Well,
That's what makes
That is
everyone
how-
go,
that's
"Oh,
not their opening salvo.
yeah, it is."
I didn't know they were vacationing.
Was it a grenade? I
Yes.
thought they just shot a bunch.
No, they tossed
because
the
there was
grenade out, and that's when everyone went, "Oh, what?"
Oh, they're
thought
serious.
you-
and
just
then they
started
just
shooting,
started
but-
gunning
Maybe
down.
people just roll up on the beach and guns in this place all the time.
And apparently this place had people like that, the guys that suddenly run out in uniforms and suddenly are shooting at them.
Terrible.
But they were pretty late getting out there.
Oh yeah,
well,
and they died instantly.
yeah.
yeah.
But
So, like, this whole, like, crazy chaos is happening, and, like, a chopper swoops in, and basically all these guys are going for is the girl, the little girl. And they literally rip her out of her mother's arms as they're both screaming.
Well, she and the mom don't even run. They just cower behind, like, a deck chair.
Well, they did this not very well shot sequence where, like, you know, it was like girl was pinned on the other side of the beach with gunfire and everything, and she was afraid to run back to her mom. But when she finally does, dramatically, like, oh, okay, you know, got to run back to mom. Then they actually just like come over and like literally grab her away, and mom's just like fighting back, but not like enough. Like, she's not hysterical enough for what's happening.
Yeah. And at the same time, Farley is running around like he's killed like 3 or 4 people.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like he's trying to aim at the guys who are taking the girl away and gets shot in the arm.
Yep.
Shot in the arm.
Yep.
And so he kind of is like, oh, fuck.
But yeah, I mean, he does the whip around like, you know, even getting grazed, it pushes him back and knocks him down a little bit.
Yeah, and that's when they throw the girl in the helicopter, take off. She comes over to him and goes, this is all your fault. How did you let this happen? You were supposed to protect us. Yeah. And we are all like, fuck you!
Yeah, we were already there. This pushed us so over the edge.
Yeah, you didn't stop 15 people with machine guns with your handgun, and it's all your fault. Despite her being annoyed by everything he's doing. It made me so... I hated her so much.
My reaction was like, she's not a wet blanket, she's a smallpox blanket.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad she is.
Yes.
She's just the worst. And... like he's just immediately like, don't worry, whatever's going to happen, I'm gonna get your girl back. She's just like immediately.
And she goes, no, I don't need your help.
Local police.
Yeah.
So they meet up with the local police, and the police chief is.
Don't worry, we have everything taken care of. Stay out of it. Go away, please.
He's dressed like Pablo Escobar. I mean, it's like, I was like, and then when he takes off his hat, you know, I mean, he's dressed like
he's fucking police pimp.
Yeah, he is. Like, I mean, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, he couldn't be any shadier.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. He could not be any shadier than he is.
Like all white linen suit, the like Panama Jack hat, and like takes it off. He's like, "Hello, I am Rodriguez, the police commissioner or chief or whatever." I'm like, "What?" Like I was like, "What?" And he's got a crony, and I don't know. Just for a while, the movie goes back and forth.
Yeah, and they nonchalantly like, "Oh, are you shot?" And he's like, "Yeah, it grazed me, but you know." And he's like, "Well, we don't want you to bleed out on our beach."
Yeah, it's bad for tourism.
Yeah, yeah. Not mentioning guys driving up in boats and machine gunning all the tourists is probably not good for tourism either.
Nah.
Just want to throw that out there, guys.
I think he's making a point that he doesn't care about that.
Yeah, but still.
I think he's making it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a shady motherfucker.
He is. So they kind of go back and forth. Like, Farley begins kind of investigating, and like it's the kind of standard thing of like, you don't have any jurisdiction here. Stop trying to meddle. So he's kind of like, he basically doesn't trust anybody at this point. He's like, I'm gonna get the girl back because she's 9 years old. She's completely innocent. I mean, I trust her because she's probably not bad. Everyone else I don't trust because. Like, he starts investigating, and I think, is it right away where one of his first moves is to go tap her phone? I mean, I don't think it's very far into the whole investigation.
It's a little bit of a ways in because eventually she meets with Charles Napier.
Oh, that's right.
And because he's like, he basically is stuck to resorting to like stalking her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because but she knows he's there, but like he won't even sit at the same table with her at the restaurant, right? And, he's just always kind of around because he's like, well, I still have to keep an eye on her because if anything's going to happen, it's going to involve her because the kidnappers haven't called and asked for money. They haven't done anything yet. But so he sees that happen. And while she's meeting with Charles Napier, suddenly 4 guys run in just like they did in and it almost looked like the same guys that ran into the convenience store in the beginning.
It very well could have been.
And are pointing guns at him and her and yelling and saying... God, what are they even saying at that point? Like when she's sitting with Charles Napier,
it's bizarre. Like, I mean, they keep talking about this ceremony that's going to happen to honor her husband, her fallen husband, where he, Pied Pipered the drug dealers out of this island or whatever, and it's like they treat it like it's the most important thing. Like all of and. Even this is like what's the opposite of endears? She further like alienates herself from us because like like other than her initial like anger kind of reaction, which like I understand like that's a common reaction for a traumatic thing, but you know, to the one guy who was trying to help you, it comes across extra bad. But like now that from like the second she's all smiley and kind of flirty when she meets with Charles Napier, and it's like, dude, your daughter is kidnapped in some general Caribbean island, probably not in a very good scenario. Have you seen movies like Broke Down Palace? She's probably not in a very good place right now, and it's like, and she's just like, oh, hey, like we'll get to the ceremony. It's very important.
Yeah.
And then like
so
and then it's like, he's like, oh yeah. And have you heard anything about her daughter? It's like, oh, she's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be concerned. No, I haven't. I mean, it's probably part combination of not very good actress, but combined with, she's just, the line she's given just makes her the most uncaring, unsympathetic person ever.
Yeah, and she's Barbara Bingham, by the way. We haven't even mentioned that, but you'd recognize her from Friday the 13th, Part 8.
Oh, totally.
Oh, I totally would. Yeah.
I celebrate that entire catalog.
Part 8.
Part 8.
The most important part.
Yeah. Is that Manhattan?
But yeah, so the guy, yes, it is actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but the guys run in, aim guns at them, and are yelling something. And meanwhile, Farley has gone like out to the lobby to make a phone call.
Yeah, because he did this whole thing where he's like, "Who's that?" with her, and like so he
so he's not in there when this happens, but he's like kind of coming back in. And as soon as they see him, they start shooting, and then he kills 2 of them.
Right. Yeah,
and the other 2 run out of the building.
Random public place in this island that has armed people run into like well-established, nice place, and he's what's bad for tourism.
Yeah,
he's good for tourism. Like he's killing. Like, how many guys did he kill?
Yeah, honestly, if he just stayed there another 6 months, he probably would have taken out the entire cartel.
Does she yell at him at this point too?
I don't.
Or did we just
think she could
figure that she did?
No, the
somebody yells at him.
I think he interacts with Napier at this point.
The local cop doesn't the local cops show up and go, "You shouldn't have been here. You suck. Quit trying to help."
Yeah.
I thought he had a word with Napier or something too, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't remember, but I know like at some point they said, well, if he hadn't gone all John Wayne and scared them off, we would have followed them to where.
No, that was local cop.
Right.
That was local cop.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you had 2 that got away that you could have followed, right?
Yeah, you don't need them all alive. You just need one to tell the tale.
But it's
couldn't
again
have followed like the scurrying guys back to their lair.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Or just wing one and then then go slower. It's easier to follow.
Yeah.
Again, he's the only one doing anything,
Blood trail.
Only one doing anything, and he gets absolutely berated for it at every turn.
Yeah. But this is where he's like, all right, fuck everybody, including her, because like I'm watching her reactions to all this and it doesn't seem right. So he breaks into her hotel room in a prolonged sequence where he, takes a key from a maid's cart and, I mean, this is old school keys and just goes in and like, puts a tap in her phone and...
But it looks like he finds that there's already a tap in there.
I thought,
is that what it was?
I thought that's what he did. Was he removed the bug from her phone? Because there's another scene a little bit later where there's a
there's another mysterious
outsourced call center dude is like, looks like we couldn't. We're having trouble with the tap on her phone.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I think that's what that was.
But yeah, so she comes back and he has to hide in the bathroom, and that's when the kidnappers call and finally go, all right, we need $12 million.
Yeah,
she's like, your daughter back.
Have that
she's
money.
Like, what the fuck? $12 million?
She's like, yeah, you do. Go to this bank. You have this money. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and they go, we will send you a cassette tape that tells you our plan.
Right.
Goddamn.
And meanwhile, he's listening on the phone, and that's when she finally breaks down and actually shows some emotion. That's like, fuck.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
This is what I'm saying. It's like this few seconds where it's like she might actually be a human. Because there's a whole other section later where it's like, this is just gross.
But this is also where he has to sneak out of the bathroom and get out of the room without her noticing. And it's almost like he kind of creeps around the corner, and then there's a point where he freezes. He's like, should I try and comfort her? And then he's like, no, wait, I broke into her room, didn't I?
Yeah. But completely silently. Like, you see all these emotions on his face, like...
No, that's a terrible idea. Why did I even?
I mean, she'd stop crying. She might start screaming and actually call the police, which she also keeps threatening to do the entire movie. Oh
God!
And he's like, he never once said, "I am the police. I am the police assigned to you."
No.
So if you're going to call anybody, call me before you go somewhere.
But there's so many scenes of her telling him, "Let the locals handle it.
Right.
You just need to get out of here. You need to not bother." And eventually, like his police chief calls and says,
"You're done.
Hey man, like
heard about what's going on. You're done.
Just get out of there." And he's like, "No, I think I know what's going on here." But eventually and there's a point where he confronts her and he's like, yeah, I think your husband's dirty, and I think Charles Napier's dirty, and I think basically everybody's dirty, and I think you know about it because you're just being a bitch for no reason to the one person who's trying to figure this out.
Right. Yeah, she's just guilty by disassociation.
And he's got a point because she keeps saying the local police will take care of it, and they haven't done shit. So
yeah, it's bizarre, but
eventually
ultimately, she goes to the bank and
gets the money,
gets $12 million in a normal gym-sized duffel bag, which is not possible unless. Isn't there a $5,000 bill that's super rare?
No, they're no longer in circulation.
They were.
None of those big bills were in circulation even in 1990.
Right.
It was the $100 bill was the highest bill in circulation since
exactly. They took them out of $1,000 bills out of circulation in the 60s or 50s.
Yeah, basically since credit cards kind of actually became a thing.
Yeah.
And you didn't need to carry a goddamn $1,000 in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, saying that's the only way $12 million would fit into a bag this size would be
$12 million is 120,000 $100 bills.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That would fill the table we're sitting on, and then some.
Yeah. I've seen those, in Vegas, they have those piles of, look at $1 million under glass, and it's sizable.
It doesn't fit in a totes bag.
No.
And
it totes does not.
And one human wouldn't be able to carry it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Again, totally unrealistic movie.
Mm-hmm.
But she gets the money. That's the point where we know the police chief is in on it.
Yeah, there's a point where she hasn't actually gone. She goes to this whole protracted thing where it's goes to get a rental car, and then he goes to get a rental car, and then
that's right. He gets in a shootout.
There's a shootout in the parking garage where I guess he's going to get the rental car.
Yeah,
and a random guy was sent to kill him, and they have a car chase, and they go through all of the fruit carts. There's they basically go through a farmer's market of fruit carts, and that's actually what makes the car spin out and flip. Is there are so many
they run over tomatoes.
There's so many tomatoes on the ground that the car just loses traction and hits a ditch and flips over.
Yep.
And apparently killing the driver, and the guy that was the gunman gets out and has a dislocated shoulder, and he interrogates him by yanking on his arm.
Of course, like you do.
And so. He goes back to the hotel, which is strange because I don't know what the lady's waiting for, but I guess she has instructions. Because he basically goes back and confronts her and says something like, I'm not entirely sure you're not in on this, but your husband was dirty. It's pretty obvious to me. I know that you've made a deal. He basically confronts her with I was listening. I know you've made a deal. When's the meet? I need to be involved, because I don't trust any of this. I'm just in it for the little girl at this point. Mm-hmm. And this is when she basically just flips another emotionless switch where she's like, I will seduce him now. It's you could see the robot gears of oh, I need him on my side. Let me. Yeah. And they have weird, sexy time. And for whatever reason, he goes along with it. I mean, I was really kind of half expecting him to be like, what? Get off of me.
Yeah.
He really should have.
Well, and that's the thing. Throughout, he's just had this exasperated, what the fuck ever.
Yeah, kind of.
Literally, he probably would have said that at some point.
Sure.
But he's very, very just sick of all this bullshit.
Yeah. But he goes along with it, wakes up in the morning, and just leaves a note, which we don't find out right away, but it's do whatever they say, or something like that. And so we go to what should be the end of the movie, because they go to a foundry factory, some kind of place like that where all movies like this should end, to do the meetup, and she puts down the money, and they do the whole she gets the girl back, and it's good.
They actually give her the girl back.
Yeah, and they're starting to walk away, and the local police commissioner is landing in a helicopter, and begins trying to shoot at them, and
he doesn't even. He's just trying to land the helicopter, and they go. Get that bitch! She notified them because obviously
right. That's right. That's right. The helicopter comes in.
It's in the kidnapper handbook. You have to say no police.
Right. And if the police show up, you have to start shooting at the...
Right. Yeah, because you need to turn your kidnapping into murder, at least single murder, if not double or triple.
Right.
Yeah. So that's better. I mean...
And meanwhile, Farley's there. He's climbed up on top of a water tower or something.
Right. Yeah, he's basically poised and kind of just... thankfully, he's doing the right thing. He's not I'm here to take out everybody and save the day. He's here to, cover their escape, which is, again... Even though he seems to have, I wouldn't say zero fucks, but maybe one fuck given, throughout the whole movie,
he knows how to do his job.
He's doing the right thing. Because that's the thing is I was please don't turn this into the movie where it's we've got to catch all these guys. Just get the bystanders safe. That's job number one.
Which is exactly what he does.
He does, thankfully, and so like
he kills multiple guys that come at them.
At them, like trying to do the kidnapper rule book.
Well, he does shoot first, but they're getting ready to shoot first. So he's like, no, fuck this.
Yeah.
Blam, blat, blat, blat.
Mm-hmm. And sniping guys with a handgun from the top of the water tower.
It was 9mm, I think.
Yeah.
They're accurate. That's why you get.
And he did lovingly clean it with.
Oh man, we missed one of the best scenes in the movie.
Damn.
He orders a salad.
Oh wait! Before, like he loses his gun on the beach because of during the original shootout where the kidnapping, he dropped his gun when he got tagged. And he goes, but there's like they actually bothered to like have a magic hour moment where he goes in the sunset of the beach and it's perfectly empty and we're thinking he's just having a moment, and then he bends down and like starts dusting off his sandy
taps
gun
it with his toe or something. He's like,
there it is.
That? Oh,
there's
my gun!
Yeah.
Yay, my gun! I missed you, gun.
It's like sand completely. Because I mean, this is like time has passed. Like we've probably gone through at least one tide cycle at this point,
right?
And so like his gun is completely full of sand, and so he orders room service. Like goes through the whole thing of like guy bringing this giant weird looking salad. It's a weird looking salad.
Yeah.
It looked like plantain leaves or something.
It's a Caribbean salad.
Like, it's bizarre.
But it comes with the oil.
It comes with oil and vinegar. He's like, "Do you want me to put this on the salad?" He's like, "No." And he cleans his gun with vegetable oil. Yeah.
Hey, you do.
We're like, this is a resourceful guy.
He is. Like, I like Farley.
He takes his entire gun apart and just.
And they get as technical with this as they do the robot cat feeder.
Yep.
So I don't know, but it's a good scene.
So anyway, yes.
Back to the climax, or what should be the climax of the movie. So like girl and mother are basically safe. All of the drug dealers are getting gunned down either by Farley or the police chief, who don't know that each other are there yet. I mean, he probably suspects the police chief's there because he keeps hearing automatic gunfire and like kind of out of nowhere, like Napier shows up in a car and is like, "Good job, you murder everybody, good. You murder that guy over there, good. We killed all the drug dealers. Give me the bag."
And he's like, "Give me the bag of the money."
Mission successful. And
we will note that Farley isn't seeing this part.
Right, he hasn't seen.
Farley sees the police chief murder the guy and take the money.
Yeah, he's more concerned with like getting the people safe, so he's doing that part of the job. But Napier like comes out from nowhere. And police chief's just like, "All right, I'm getting back on a helicopter. I'm done here. Like, good job. Way to get the money. Split it with you later." And then Napier just like, I think it was like some little submachine gun.
He had an
like,
Uzi.
Yeah.
He had a full size Uzi.
Pulls it out of the trunk after he puts the money in.
Yeah, and then just like shoots at the helicopter, and the helicopter fucking blows up, and it's like, no.
For this movie's purposes, yes.
Yes.
Hey, we got an explosion out of the deal. I'm not going to hate on it too much.
Yeah, chop a fireball out of it.
Sure, but that's about the time like
50 Cent would be proud.
Yes, he chucks the gun aside, and that's when Farley comes around the corner. He's like, "The fuck blew up the copter?" He's like, "That guy." He's like, "Who shot that guy?" He's like, "I did." It's like he was taking out the copter. Right? He's like, "How'd you even know we were here?" He's like, "Rodriguez, the police chief, told me." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, all right,
yeah,
that's all right."
And this is when the mom...
Like, he does a good job of not fucking that up. Like, that never happens. Usually it's like, it was me. I killed him. And that's where the heel turn happens.
That's what I was saying. That's how this movie should have ended. Because, like, he's like, all right, that seems reasonable. Well, let's get them out of here. And,
but first, when the mom and the kid come around the corner, the mom goes, "You started shooting at people. What were you doing?" And he's like...
They were about to shoot you.
And the little girl says it. She's like, "Mommy, that guy was going to kill both of us."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's gone back into the original mode. Like, not the we just had sex mode.
Yeah.
Like, she's back into, like, the original, like, why are you doing your job mode.
Yeah. Angry that he shot two people that were approaching them with guns with intent to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And she is pissed at him about this.
Yep. But super happy to see Jack Napier, or Charles Napier.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Napier is a different guy.
Yeah. Yes, it is. But, yeah. So they get in the car and drive off, and we're like, "Huh, well, that's a weird way to end this."
But wait,
there's more.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Because
there's another 3 hours of movie left.
He gets like
It's
another
the longest 89-minute movie I've ever seen.
He gets like, I mean, this should be the end of the movie, but then like he gets another call and they do this whole thing like, "You need to go home," and then some people come up and they're like, "No, you need to go home," and then it's like, we got to go to this super important award ceremony.
Finally,
and that whole thing happens, and there's not quite a ticker tape parade, but there's people outside with American flags.
There are way too many people.
And there's
who care
limos and like, I swear it like seemed like they were taking awards footage from like actual things at a moment, because like there was one crowd shot where it's like, is that Shirley MacLaine? Like just for a second I was like, did they like get some footage here? Because like it's
she
weird.
happened to be in Cabo, whatever.
I don't know, but like so like they do this whole
the
thing.
only bit of anything that's worthwhile that's imparted here is that she tells Charles Napier, yeah, I know my husband was crooked now.
Right.
I'm only doing this so that my daughter still thinks he's a hero.
Right. He's like, well, his country probably needs to think he's a hero too. And,
yeah.
So like Farley does this whole half-ass like, I'm going to get into the award ceremony / confront these people, but really all it serves is like, oh, you don't have an invitation, sir, wait here. And he waits for them to show up and he's like, hey, can you get me in there? And they're like, you're not dressed for the part. And we're done. That whole fucking scene is done. That whole big pomp and circumstance thing we've been talking about the entire movie is done for just
all
basically
it does
him to
it gives him a minute to be nice to the girl again.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, this is the kind of thing in like, in a weird, in like a hero cop movie where like the cop is actually kind of stalking the bad guy just to get on their nerves and make them screw up.
Yeah.
Like this would be where this was, but like he doesn't really do that. He's just kind of like, hey, let me in. He's like, nah, you're kind of dressed like a schlub. All right, later. Bye.
Yeah.
Hey girl, we'll talk for a second again.
Yeah, he doesn't even give it like a if I had $12 million, I'd buy a better suit too.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Could you loan me $12 million?
Yeah,
something like that. You could. I mean, there's just so many jokes you could make there, or things that you could say. But no, still not done. Because like this award ceremony happens, and then there's a whole prolonged thing where they actually are leaving, and there's basically a point where he runs into a couple of FBI guys outside the airport when they're about to leave, and they're like, we know about Napier's character. I don't know if he had a name, but we know about him. Well, there's not really anything we can do. We just need to let us handle it, or we're going to put you under arrest. And then there's this whole thing where like he's going to the car, and he says goodbye to the lady and the daughter, and it's like, I can't go with you. My job takes me all over the world. I'm a diplomat.
This is Charles Napier.
Yeah, Charles Napier. He's like, my job takes me all over the world. I can't go back to Miami with you. We'll meet again one day. They won't, because like the FBI guys or whatever they are.
Because it almost feels like there was some kind of romantic relationship there.
Yeah. I don't know, because
they're like, oh, you're not coming with us.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like it's strange. Like I said, it's just she hates Farley, so much, but immediately falls for Napier for no apparent reason to us, the audience. So like he has a tearful goodbye. He's going to his car, and we like it does this whole like we're watching Farley talk to the FBI guys, and then it's like camera focus, like camera shift over to them, and it's like, oh, we're following them now, and they do this whole like the Condor's coming out of the building, the Condor's going to his car. Yeah,
because while they're doing like they are threatening to arrest it, like Farley is leaving. He's leaving, and they're like, you took too long to leave.
Right,
you're under arrest, and he's like, for what? And they're like, well, just stay out of this matter.
Yeah.
And then they just let him walk away, despite saying, we're about to arrest you.
Yeah, they start to read him his rights. He's like, I know my rights. Don't tell me those.
Yeah, but then they pan over to them, and they're doing
like I said, it just does like it shifts focus in the movie kind of thing. And like we're following Charles Napier / these FBI guys. They basically walks to his car, he puts the money in the trunk, puts the key in the car, and
we know what happens.
Boom. And
the only good thing about this
good
shot,
explosion.
No, the good explosion, but they bother to put the fiery corpse, the charred corpse in the front seat.
And they show it.
Oh, yeah. Like
they linger on it for a few seconds.
Oh, yeah. Like the door's blown flames, off. You see the arm still hanging on to the steering
Charles
wheel.
Crispier.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. And then cut to him landing in Miami.
It's still not over because like they have to land in the airport in Miami, and he meets up with his chief.
Yeah, and he has to say goodbye to her and say, "Oh, we don't run in the same circles." I doubt we're going to see each other.
Like almost like she had like a sense, like, "Oh, Charles Napier just blew up in a car." Like, I don't know, you want to get together sometime? He's like, "Nah,
I don't think so." But yeah, then he meets with his chief, and the chief hands him a newspaper and is like, "Hey, I figured you want to see this."
Yeah, look,
and it's basically like, "Hey, Charles Napier got blown up by drug dealers." And he goes, "Huh," and then he misquotes the end of Casablanca.
Yep.
And the chief says, "What?" And he goes, "I heard it in a movie once."
I think this is beginning to look like the start of a wonderful friendship. Yeah, or something.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, "Oh, it's from a movie."
It would have been funnier if the chief was like, "Are you trying to quote Casablanca? Because that's totally fucking wrong."
Yeah, that would have been in a better written movie. Yes, that would have happened.
Yeah,
but
And then
they walk out of frame.
They walk out of frame, and
then freeze frame.
It freeze frames on random ass fuckers like
On two people waiting on the escalator.
No, I thought it was like the baggage carousel. Or
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
It's the dumbest fucking thing.
Yeah, it's the dumbest
Through
freeze frame.
the whole credits.
And we love a end a movie on a freeze frame.
Well, yeah. I mean, it
This
should be a jumping high five freeze frame. That should be the end of every movie. But
No. This
No,
one, they just
this is
end on people
two
waiting
random
on their
fuckers.
baggage.
And like a guy, it was an escalator because there was a guy like halfway up
Yeah.
an escalator. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yep. And then we're just like, oh my god, the long national nightmare is over.
Yeah, because like the first 40. All right, we're up to rating. There's no Scargrove. There's no Ensigns. There's none of those peripheral awards. I'm gonna go ahead and rate it because I have thoughts on my head.
Yeah.
Like the first 45 minutes or so, it's hard to tell with the pacing of the movie are good. Like I was enjoying this movie. Like the stupid robot cat feeder and like despite her terrible attitude, like just the random like gunfights and people with armed invaders that would come into the scene around him was fun because I was like, this is insane. This makes no sense. Why does violence just follow this dopey, not zero fucks giving cop? But then it's like this whole like Return of the King fucking ending happens to this movie, and it's like what the shit?
7 endings.
Because I before we started recording, I was likening this to. This is like a ill prepared for book report where like someone gets up and they're like they do the whole thing and it was supposed to be 5 minutes long and they realize they've only done 3 or 2.5 and they're like and the whale was big and there was a guy he was really obsessed with getting it. And he was gray. The whale was gray. Did I tell you that part? That just feels like the rest of this movie, where like they realized they told the whole story. They're like, shit, this had to be 90 minutes, and they got it to 129. We're like, all right, fuck, cut, we're done, close enough. So I don't know. Like, as a weird novelty thing, I can barely give this jocks. Like, I think just because like things need to be seen in this movie, just know that like it's going to end terribly. So I think. I'm almost inclined to give it 2 jocks, but that's too high. I have to go 1. Like I have to admit, like the barely recommend because like there are things in it that are better, but like that last 20 to 30 minutes is a fucking slog. It just really is, and it just brings the whole thing down. So yeah, 1. I barely award you 1 jocks.
And may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not as generous as you. This is a 2 bags.
Okay.
Like despite cat robot feeder. And
cat robot feeder alone cannot save a movie.
Yeah, and burning Chuck Napier corpse. There's not enough. I mean, this is on like I thought that the time code had to have been wrong, and like it was still going somehow past an hour and 29 minutes because I swear to God, I thought we were there at least 2 hours watching this, and that's not ever what you want.
No.
Yeah, and it's just I enjoy him being just annoyed by people, like his attitude, Farley's attitude throughout the movie, but that it doesn't redeem enough of it because God, there's just too much bullshit and too much just repetition of the same shit and nobody learning anything new from any of it. That it's 2 bags. I couldn't see myself watching it again.
Pregnant pause. Doing 9 months. It's weird. I'm kind of like back and forth between 1 bags and 1 jocks on this movie. It's that last third or last act, I guess, is a real slog, and I just really kind of annoying, but. At the same time, like there's some stuff that's really kind of charming and endearing. Like I really like Farley's character. He's not your typical like he's not necessarily a jaded cop. He's just like been around the block, and he
the short time that we spent with him. I mean, if that's his life, where everywhere he goes, there's a massive fucking firefight.
Yeah,
I'd be pretty like downtrodden too. Just they're seeing some shit, and then there's just like, God damn it!
Well, that's just the thing. He's not even exasperated.
No.
Like he's just like, sorry. He's not even exasperated. He's just like, this is this is the way it is, and I'm
He's
just gonna
reluctant hero.
Yeah.
I guess
Like he saves some people because he's like, I gotta save these people. Like I don't want to be that guy.
this is my job, so I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's resigned, I guess, to the fact that this is the way things work in the world. But he's not like loose cannon on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
He's not,
Not really.
he's not like crazy alcoholic wild guy. He's just,
I don't think he touches a drop of alcohol in the whole movie.
No.
But, I mean,
No.
basically, he was on duty, so to speak. you
Yeah.
know.
But he's just, I've seen all this shit before. There's nothing new under the sun. Regular ass cop that happens to have, a couple good one-liners here and there. And I find that super fascinating because you don't see that very often. So because of that, like, I really think that at least the first 25, 35 minutes of this movie should probably be seen. But the rest of it is kind of throwaway. I mean, there's some stuff, like, if you wanted to, you could probably cut 40 minutes out of this movie and make it make it definitely worth seeing. And that happens so often, is that these movies go on longer than they should. Like, they should be shorts, but for some reason they need to, like, get a film to feature length to get the tax credit or whatever.
Right.
Or to be able to write it off.
Well, I mean, we made the reference earlier, but, like, I mean, this honestly feels like it was an episode of Miami Vice. Like, they took a 45-minute episode and tried to stretch it into a movie. Because early in Miami Vice's run, there's an episode that's almost the same kind of thing of like, oh, we need you to go international. Like, when there's no fucking reason for them to, just
Right.
because, like, we're going to go to Cuba or wherever for, like, a thing for a location shoot. It's Sweep Week. We're going,
Right.
wherever. Caribbean
Hawaii,
Island. Yeah, Caribbean Island.
Saint-Tropez, yeah.
So, like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this feels like they just like, oh, yeah, this is too, it was in the reject pile of the Miami Vice script because, like, it was too close to the other episode. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's weird. But I'll go ahead and give it a single jocks, and that is only just because I recommend seeing this character and, like, just see a different way of doing the been around the block cop. And of course to see, like, what's her name's crazy freakouts about him just doing his fucking job.
Sure.
So that's all I got.
Yeah, if you ever want to just hate on a character in a movie, she's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. She's basically unlikable in almost every single way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they do a weird thing with her too. Like, they keep trying to sort of, like, sex her up a bit, and they have, like, lingering camera shots like, hey, check her out.
yeah, look, she's a lady.
Yeah, she's female.
Yeah.
How about that? And I mean, I don't want to hate on anybody for the looks, but, like, she's not your typical, like, she's
a lady. She's
Yeah.
not unattractive, but
No, she's not.
like,
I mean, she's
not
she's
particularly like wow attractive.
But right, like,
I mean, considering
a
half
few times they do that, like, we're lingering on, this is where we would
Sure.
do our hot girl, quote unquote hot girl shot.
Right.
But they sort of, I don't know, just the way the camera sort of, or they sort of treat her, just as a quote unquote sex object is weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Well, they
It's
don't do
very-
any favors in dressing her half the movie either,
No.
because like they put her in really bad mom jeans a couple times, and then there was some weird like almost like Rorschach, Caribbean Rorschach
oh man, I don't even.
dress thing she was wearing.
Yeah.
It was fucked up. It was, I don't know.
But it's just weird the way that they treated that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't
Lingering, like,
it would
getting
not
out
have
of
mattered
the-
how she looked. I
No.
mean, she could have been the most beautiful woman, but if she acted like that, it was like, well,
Right.
I hate you.
yeah. That's just it. Like, the character is unlikable.
Sure.
And they just, it's sort of out of context, I guess, for
Yeah.
this movie
But-
that they do that.
Well,
It's
like I said,
weird.
that whole weird, like, seduction thing was just like, no. No, this is gross. Anyway. All right, break time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ear sweat.
Yep. The usual. Anybody got anything for second half? I have the movie.
I can talk briefly about those despecialized things, I guess.
Okay. So, hey, everybody. Chuck has written me and said he's glad that we saved next week's movie because he actually wanted to see that one. So, good thing we called an audible and watched a movie that was not good. For a movie that will not be good either, but in an enjoyable way, we hope. As we always hope. Because you never know. Because, I mean, you look at the poster for Cop Target. And that movie looks pretty fucking sweet. But then you watch Cop Target, and that movie's not particularly sweet. So, no.
The lady's very much not sweet.
Yeah. She's very sour, in fact. Yeah. And I'm going to look at the emails and see. Yeah, one of the phone calls we got was like, hey, don't play this phone call.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we should totally play that, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
He actually said something in the end, but I'm trying to remember now, but...
I'm kidding. We won't play anything.
I know.
Request not to play.
And we did play the one from Australia, that's right.
We did.
Yes, so I can unflag that. I tend to leave those flagged just so you can find them easier,
Sure.
which I don't know if that matters.
No, because the Gmail does not carry over to the Google Voice. It does not star them in Google Voice, so therefore not very helpful.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I tried, man. I tried.
I know. You can put the Google Voice app on your phone if you don't use Google Voice for anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to save... I don't know if you ever read these. You probably don't because you want me to save them, right?
Read what? The emails?
The emails.
Yeah, I don't tend to... I read them ahead of time anymore.
Okay.
Got too many ones where it was like... kind of a spoiler. I liked having the thought off the top of my head instead of thinking too much about it.
Yeah.
Now, if we go back to having a good theme, please tell us ahead of time because... Like, a second half topic, I should say.
Yeah. There's one from John McCullen. I'm not going to read it because I want Chuck to be here for it.
Okay.
But it's a good topic.
Okay.
That I have answers for, but I figure everyone else will want to look up a couple answers for themselves too before we do that one. And Chuck here because it's more of in the Chuck realm.
Maybe I misheard. This is banter time. Last episode, the question was like movies that change their like style or
we'll just take a weird left turn somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, and going back and listening, was the question more like in the bad way? Because I was answering like things I think are in the good way. Like, I mean, to me, like Pineapple Express, Hot Fuzz, the Jurassics, turn in a fun or very... I mean, I know a lot of people hate the Godzilla ending of Jurassic Park 2 or whatever it is, Lost World.
The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, a lot of people hate that, but, I mean, I think it's fun. I mean, that movie was so goofy for the most part anyway that I didn't mind that ending being as goofy as it was. So I mean, I don't. Just in going back and listening, I was like, the question was like, times that's bad? Because I know your example of like 28 Days Later in Sunshine, you do not like the way they switch.
Yeah, I don't know if because I mean he lists From Dusk Till Dawn as the main one, which
most people
I think that becomes a worse movie when that happens.
I agree, but I know a lot of people like the
a lot of people like it went that direction.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
The first half is like a Tarantino movie, second half is a Rodriguez movie. Yeah. I mean, maybe some would debate behind the camera that's absolutely true, like that they co-directed it, but
yeah,
that it was Grindhouse Part 1.
Yeah, and then there's Grindhouse, where man, that takes a weird turn after that first break.
Yeah, you don't like the Stuntman Mike one, huh? I love that.
I haven't seen it since the theater, and I just...
The funny thing is, like, the more time goes on, I mean, I liked both when I first saw them for completely different reasons, but I'm, like, I like Death Proof so much more than Planet Terror. Like as time goes on.
Yeah, I've realized as time goes on, I don't think I like either of them.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
But yeah, I just remember just wanting to force them out of that restaurant any possible way I could. Because they just kept fucking talking, and it was pointless, not good, catchy dialogue at all, and it got old. So
I don't know. I like the very, very end of that is so good.
yeah, I mean the car chase is fun by the end of it, but yeah, don't like it. Sorry.
Right. So do we have emails non Chuck related?
Yeah, we got a couple.
Did you watch something? I can't.
No.
Oh.
I just had a follow up to something we talked about in the middle of the first half, sort of.
Okay. So do you want to bring it as soon as the second half starts, or do you just want it to be Patreon content?
It's about how big money is.
Oh,
Okay.
So
that sounds like Patreon.
Patreon content?
Sounds like actual literal Patreon content.
yeah,
Like, as in, please show us what $12 million looks like on
what's
this
12
table.
what's 12
How much
million
do you think
bones
$12 million would cover the BMFcast table?
well,
Well,
I think
I'm glad you asked.
I'm pretty sure we could get $12 million on this table.
Okay. Do
Do
you think this table would support the weight?
possibly, maybe not though,
Okay.
because
Do we have the weight?
I
Is
do not
there
have-
like a how
I do
much
not
does
have
money
weight.
does moneyweigh.com and
I
calculator?
don't have that. I
Okay.
have some sort of comparative sizes, but I do have one somewhat precise measurement. 1,000 bills is about 10 centimeters thick.
Okay.
So it takes 10 of those to make $1 million. 10 stacks of 1,000 $100 bills makes $1 million.
Am I doing
It's
my math right?
$100,000.
Is that a meter tall? If you're just going straight one stack, single stack, meter, 10 centimeters is a meter, right?
Yes.
So that's, I mean, so that's meter tall.
So like
in
so
one
yeah,
single stack
like
a minute.
3 feet. So a yard.
I don't know why we're using this
basically.
metric system shit
Yeah.
for American money, but whatever.
because it's the reference that I have.
Okay,
So
sure.
10 centimeters is I don't know, some sort of measurement. So anyhow, it's about the length of a GameCube, actually. So $200,000 in $100 bills is about the size of a Nintendo GameCube.
Okay.
$800,000 in $100 bills will fit in a plastic shopping bag.
Okay.
So a little bit larger than that, we can easily fit 10 shopping bags, 10 plastic grocery bags on this table. So a large microwave on the larger side will fit $1 million worth of $100 bills.
Okay.
Now this that you're looking at on my screen, it's $1 bills, but it's all stacked. You know, they're all the same size. So, but that's it. So $12 million, you could almost reasonably say 12 grocery bags full of money.
Oops, I'm just thinking like meters, probably about yay or so.
3 feet, just say
Yeah.
about a yard.
So I mean, you could almost do like if it's in single rows, you can almost do 2 million, in rows that
Yeah.
way. Just stacking them straight single. That's
Yeah.
that's
On end,
on
yeah.
end. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could fit it flat on the table, probably one high. Yeah.
These are important things. Now
Either
we
way,
know.
it doesn't fit in a tote bag.
No.
Fuck no, no. There's no way you're carrying around $12 million in cash.
In a tote bag.
Do we have a weight? That's what I was curious about. Like the weight on that stack of.
Paper's heavy, man.
Yeah, it gets heavy.
I've been shipping comics on eBay.
Yeah.
Those, man, some of the packages I've sent, heavy ass. Paper.
Right.
It does say the bag would probably the plastic grocery bag would probably rip if you tried to lift it
With $1 million in it.
with $800,000 in it.
Oh, 800. Why 800,000?
Because that's what'll fit in a grocery bag.
Oh, okay.
So you could put a couple more stacks on top.
Grocery bag, paper grocery bag.
Plastic
Plastic.
grocery bag. So if you extrapolate, like you can fit a little bit more content in a paper bag than you could in a plastic bag. So you can probably fit $1 million in a paper grocery bag. So think of that. A paper grocery bag rolled down a bit would fit about $1 million.
So paper versus plastic.
Go paper.
Oh yeah.
Double bag it.
Well, plus because a credit card could get canceled.
Right. Can't cancel cash, motherfucker.
Yeah, you can't cancel cash.
So anyhow, imagine our podcasting table that you see on the live stream here,
full of
covered in money.
$100 bills, yeah. I do
Laying
all
on
the
its side.
time.
This,
I would Scrooge McDuck the shit out of that.
I would throw it out on the floor in the living room and cash angel.
We need some angel investors.
Yes, we do.
All right, let's do a second
Yeah,
half.
I'd convert it all into coins.
I
and
didn't
take
even
it to
mention
Canada.
there's a scene in Breaking Bad where there is $80 million
Yeah.
80.
in cash in a room.
That's got to be like
Well, how much money was it in The Dark Knight? Remember the big giant fucking pile of money that set on fire?
Oh man, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I mean that was a fuckload of money. A big giant climb on pile of money.
I don't know.
Anyway,
But yeah, there is a scene in Breaking Bad where it's $80 million and it's on a pallet. It's a lot of money.
There you
yeah,
go.
that sounds about right.
All right.
Anyway.
Second half time. Boom.
Yeah,
So,
we'll make
did I
it
have any voicemails I need to pull up or no?
I don't believe you do.
Okay.
$63 million, by the way,
And-
is about how much they estimate they
And
was in that pile in Dark Knight. Yeah,
How much?
63 million. But yeah, a pallet of money. God damn.
Yeah.
I'd be all right with the duffel bag full of money. I mean, with the actual contents of what it could hold in $100 bills.
Oh God. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking
You could probably get 2 million.
I 3 is my magic number.
3.
Yeah,
Three, oh, it's the magic number.
No, $3 million is the magic number for living like a rich person and not spending a dime. Because you can put, if you invest it, get a soft 5%. That's $150,000 a year for doing fuck all.
Yep.
And that's enough to live like a rich person.
That's people want to take the lump sum on lottery. I'm like, no, man. You just give me a stipend of ridiculous sums of money a year. I promise you, I'm
5%
going to be okay.
is easy to invest in. You could probably go for 10%.
If you pay somebody to invest your money, if you pay them, if you pay them a fee or pay them a percent, it doesn't really matter at that point. You can make more than you're paying them.
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna do a second half.
Sure. Yeah, I guess we could do that.
It's on the lower
Right.
third. I think it's time.
Yeah.
All right.
Who did you change the third?
All right, welcome back.
Hey,
Hey.
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Second half. Have to.
Second half. We're
So,
talk about movies.
and
and
other
stuff.
things, and correspond with people.
Yeah, we do all that. I watched a documentary
Did you?
over the weekend. I watched Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Oh, you did. I've seen that.
Yeah, that's really good.
It is.
It's basically about the guy who was like the Michael Jordan of sushi,
Pretty much.
but he's like 80 years old, and it becomes this interesting story about what it takes to be the absolute best in the universe at something, and what it takes to maintain that every single day, and basically never take a day off from being that guy who's the best. But it also is a story about all the people who kind of live in the shadow of that, especially his oldest son, who in Japanese tradition is the one who takes over the business. And there's a really interesting interview with a former apprentice of Jiro's, who basically says, like, in order for him to get judged well, he has to be twice as good. And then people will go, all right, that's good. That matches him. If he's even at the same level, everyone will say it sucks. Just because it's not Jiro doing it anymore.
right.
And it's just crazy to think about that poor guy. And it's almost like you can kind of tell how beaten down he is.
The oldest son?
Yeah. But Jiro just seems like the coolest guy, too.
He does.
But he's also like the most laser-focused guy you're probably ever going to see.
And the one of the really fascinating things about that to me was the fact that he, like, it's only like a 10-seat restaurant, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the
10
tiniest
seats. And
tiniest
it's-
restaurant in the world, and you can't get in there.
It's at least a month. Like, my wife and I already agreed. She's like, if we ever win the lottery, like, we're going there, right? And I said, yeah, well, hopefully we do it before he dies.
Yeah.
But it's like 10 courses, and it's God, what is it, like 30,000 yen? It's about $250.
Yeah.
And it's like a course. Like you don't order. It's like,
No,
here's what you're presented with tonight.
You are
It's
served
20 different,
right.
not rolls, but it's more sashimi. It seemed like the majority of it was sashimi style.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just knowing the exact temperature, like everything they do is
Like, and that's another thing. Like, you're even supposed to, like, he hands it to you. You put it in your fucking mouth right then and eat it, because he is handing it to you the moment before it is ready. Mm-hmm. Like, and he knows that, and he knows every little piece about every little thing he's doing. It's such a fascinating thing.
Yeah.
Like, and another thing, and you see this when they talk about Japanese food and sushi in particular, like how important the rice is. And like I think The Apprentice talked about how long he washed rice for Jiro before he was good at it. Like, and it was like 7 or 8 years that he was just washing rice.
Good.
Like that's mind blowing.
Yeah, but it's a very interesting, and it's also well shot. Like it's digital, I guess, but there's a lot of nice slow motion of like them setting the sushi down, and then you see it kind of rest just a little bit.
Right.
And yeah, it's just crazy though, because he's just this old guy in this restaurant in the subway terminal. It's like off the side of a subway in Tokyo. But and the guys at the market who will only sell certain cuts to him because they know, like, okay, if there's anybody who's going to know how to do this the best, it's going to be him. But it's
pretty amazing. Yeah, sashimi is just the fish, right? Yeah, sashimi is just the fish.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just sushi then that he serves, and there are very few rolls because in the U.S. at least, it's like all the sushi we get is basically rolls. Like it's you always see on the menu they have it in the style where it's okay. This is the ball of rice, and we've placed this cut on top of it, but the U.S. it's like, no, we just shoved all that shit in a roll and wrapped it up.
Right. We like stuff wrapped up in other things. We like tacos and burritos and paninis or whatever.
But it's
Euros.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those very good documentaries that's not necessarily
Euro
like
Dreams of Lamb.
Yeah, nice. But it's one of those documentaries where if you look at it on the surface level, it's just about an old guy making sushi. But if you look at it on like an allegorical level, where it can talk about any profession and how it's so easy for any of us to just coast, and just, I went to work, I don't even remember what I did today, but I got paid for it. Whereas this is the guy who that never enters his brain ever. Like, and there's the fact that he fucking loves making sushi.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's so cool about it, is he's like, no, like, why would I do anything else? Like, this is the best. Mm-hmm. I love doing this. And he
does it because he likes it. He like is good at it. Like,
yeah,
he cares about the quality of the product. It's
but you better be good.
yeah.
Because they're like, to work for him, you basically have to be subjecting yourself to a guy who's never going to be happy with what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And for that one, it's if he was mean about it, I would think it would be abusive.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
because
he's a jerk about it.
It's like that whole abusive behavior where it's like somebody can be an asshole, and then that one time they're nice, you're like, oh, that's the greatest thing they've ever said to me, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of like that, but you know that he damn well means it,
right?
When he says, yeah, good job on the rice, or yeah, this rice is okay,
right?
Even that, they're like, yes, I'm the best at sushi and rice making. Yeah, because like the one dude, he's like, yeah, I cried that day when he said he liked my rice. So,
well, I mean, you work for, and that's a thing that's just so foreign to a lot of people is, like, a lot of people don't work at a craft. A lot of people work at a job. Mm-hmm. We're basically like fleshy robots. But when you work at a craft, like you put in that kind of time. You put in 7 years into
there's no way to learn it other than doing it over and over again.
It's like the 10,000 hours theory of getting, I forget what level of proficiency they give 10,000 hours, but like you're pretty much the best you're ever going to be once you've done something for 10,000 hours. But something like that is a craft, and you put time into it and effort. And when you work at something like that, as opposed to, like a lot of us do, just showing up to your job, then recognition of competence in that means, I think, a lot more. Like, feels good to get an attaboy when you're, when you're putting in your 8 hours a day, doing spreadsheets, but when you're honing a skill and you get recognized for it, I think it means a little bit more.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. I would definitely recommend that very much, and it's very weird that guy went on to make. Oh God, what is the name of the horror movie?
Jiro Dreams of Nightmare on Euro Street.
No, it's the weirdest one. It's the one that's got like. God. Now I have to look it up.
Who can IMDb faster?
Yeah. Because I have to look up the director and then what he did next. David Gelb. Lazarus Effect. God, why was that not in my head? Yeah, Lazarus Effect. The one with like Olivia Wilde where they bring her back to life. And
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Yeah. Like he made, like, it's so weird that he made this amazing documentary and he had basically done documentaries before that and then goes and makes this weird horror movie that nobody liked.
Okay.
So, I don't get it.
Hey, I don't like people that like pigeonhole themselves into one genre. I mean, that's why Danny Boyle is probably my favorite working director right now. Is like he never makes the same movie twice.
Yeah,
this
is true.
Good or bad. I mean, it's just not doing the same thing again.
But. Yeah, but it apparently that's a very big step down. But I would recommend Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Sure.
It's a very interesting.
I'd say they're all good steps, but I mean, at least they're different steps. Who knows? Maybe it's the next thing you make another documentary and get back into it. So I got a little bit of a talk about a documentary, but more about the actual product. Last week, I believe it was, we were talking about the Star Wars despecialized editions.
Yeah.
And Disney threatening to maybe possibly put something like that out.
Yeah.
So I went and hunted and found the things, these files that are out there on the internet. Find them how you will. But before
you
that,
already owned several copies of regular, like Star Wars. Like
one might say that, yes.
Everyone over 10 has owned at least one copy of Star Wars at this point.
Yeah,
it just happens.
Right.
Like you don't even try; it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Had I known, I never actually owned a letterbox copy of the original unaltered ones. But man, I wish I could go back in time and. I don't care if they're VHS.
I still have VHS ones.
That's what I'm saying.
I still have those.
I think I finally threw away my VHS ones that were not altered, but that's because they were pan and scan, and they did some terrible pan and scanning back then.
Yeah.
Really digital, side to side shit. So, anyway, I hunted these down, and but there's also a quick. It's only like 20 minutes, but there's a little 20-minute YouTube video that kind of talks about the process of doing this.
Of the despecialized?
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit of that, like where they do side-by-sides.
It was pretty fascinating because, I mean, they talked about like all of the sources they went through and the things that they did, and it's obviously not a huge time commitment, but time commitment for you to watch it. It looks like a giant life changing thing that this guy has done, basically, because it's more or less one guy that's running all this. I mean, I'm sure other people have contributed certain things, and the video talks about certain people writing certain algorithms to clean up this or do this or whatever, but it's kind of one guy running the show, and anywhere you look, like, everyone pretty much acknowledges that. So, as for the product, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, like, they go so far as to, like, just everything you can think of to take it back to the theatrical versions is there. Like, removing Episode 4, A New Hope, from their first one. Like,
wow.
Everything
going
is
all out.
Yeah, all out. Like this, and because the thing talks about it, they were showing clips of the 77 Oscars and just all of the technical awards and things that Star Wars won. Just time after time, it was called up there onto the stage for the music and the sound effects, and then just showing examples of the various edits changing the music. You know, like, this is award-winning music. Now you have changed it. You've stretched it out because the scene is longer, and you've had to change the music and the sound cues and all of the things that, like, the whole world was like, we love this, give it all of the awards, and you have now altered it, and it's not fair that we can't see the thing that was given all the accolades originally.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. It's an interesting little documentary, and man, they at least original Star Wars Episode 4, whatever we want to call it, is. That's had the most time and energy put into it. Like, it's up to, like, a new revision, because I guess he's also not only been doing this, but, like, making changes along the way.
Oh, really?
Because, like, Empire Strikes Back and Return of Jedi are still, like, version 1 of the despecialized one. But, like, the New Hope or whatever is, like, 2.5, and it's...
So, like, Empire Strikes Back, do they keep the... Like, when they're running through the corridors in Bespin near the end, do they keep the open... area ones, or do they go back to the cuts where it's like all, closed off?
It's all seriously anything you can think of, other than, like, you know, maybe fixing some matte boxing and things like that. Like the actual complaints one might have with the special effects are fixed, but, like, everything else is original. Like,
okay,
everything, like, cut out even the good, like, anything that even could be considered good. Like, I thought they did a good job with showing the Wampa eating the Tauntaun. Like,
yeah,
that was done. It was practical effects. That's out. Like, it's just fuck that shit. It's new. It's different. Get it out of here.
Yep.
Yeah. So
these are definite purist versions of these damn movies.
Like I said, this is the, like, no, just cleaned up but best version of original movies.
Okay.
And so, especially the first one alone is worth checking out. Like, the MKV that's out there is like 18 gigs.
Man.
Seriously, like,
oh,
it's
Jesus.
Like, yeah, they were like, we're not fucking around. This is super high quality.
That's
4K.
Yeah, well, maybe not that much, but it's up there. I think it's
that is a lot of gigabytes.
Like, it's like an uncompressed 1080p practically. You know,
but it looks. You've watched them and they look.
It looks really good.
Look really good.
Yeah, I mean, the other ones aren't quite, like I said, they aren't as high file size, and they aren't as, like, as much care has been put into them yet. I think that's Empire's next, and then take all the. But I think what happens is, like, this actually started some years ago, and the original version was new things have come along, new shit has come to light, and that he's redoing things with some of the Blu-ray footage, which looks good when it's not fucked with.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, good.
Interesting.
So you would recommend that to people?
I would.
Were you
to do some searching and
stuff,
and be careful, don't get letters from your internet service providers. That's all I'll say.
I hate those letters.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. You want some what?
Nothing.
Oh, I do. Okay. I virtually heard you say something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was private.
Never mind. So, emails. First one. We're only going to do a couple. We're going to save some because some have Chuck-related content.
Ooh.
Or content that Chuck would like to address.
Chuck
I think. Yes. Chuckity Chuck.
You don't want to see us chucked in.
No. First one up is from Birdie.
Hey, Birdie.
Who says, finally sober enough to fully recommend Animation 2.0. Birdie is like the animation truther right now. Birdie is just like, you guys are going to do animation one way or another.
Guys, you don't understand. Animation can be good.
It can. We just haven't found it yet. But he says, hey, guys, it's Birdie like the squaw. Steve, since our last missive, I was able to see the movie Un gallo con muchos huevos. And I have to say, it's hilarious. Like I said before, it's a bunch of silliness wrapped around a bunch of great movie references. I think part of the charm is the movie being in Spanish. It really feels like a third-rate DreamWorks movie, but the humor and action works in its favor. I did some research and learned that this movie is the third in a trilogy, and the first time the characters were done entirely in CG. I'm looking forward to seeing the first two movies as long as they are subtitled. I'm considering this movie the John Wick of Mexican animated features, and it's definitely a must-see.
Okay, so you're just going back and talking about what he talked about last week. I was like, didn't we do this already?
Yeah. Apparently he had not seen it at that point. So he's seen it now. And he said yes.
Okay.
He wants us to see it.
Gotcha.
He says, P.S. This features a chicken version of BMFcast alumni Chuck Norris and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay.
So, Birdie wants us to see that movie really bad. So maybe
we'll see what we can do.
One day when it's on The Rays of Blue, subtitled, we may watch it here. We'll see. Another follow-up, actually, and this one's from Brandon, who says, Ice-T is better than Ice Cube, and additional clarification.
Oh, okay.
It says, BMFers, Brandon again. Just wanted to explain that sign off for my last email since some more. Ice-T is featured as a pretty awesome one-episode character in a hilarious dark sci-fi animated comedy show called Rick and Morty. I don't want to give away the gag, but it's incredible. Always stay around for the after-credits scene. If you guys like dark animated humor, can't recommend it enough. Co-created by Dan Harmon of Community fame. It's one part Community, one part Futurama, mixed together with some really dark humor. Crash and Burn, Brandon Circus Jolly Brewer. Sent using a Nintendo Power Glove. P.S. Get your ass away from Ghosts of Maz.
Somebody described either on one of the social medias Rick and Morty as like the animated Doctor Who, if like just a fucked up animated Doctor Who, like if they stopped giving so many fucks on Doctor Who.
I think they have.
No, I mean,
oh, okay.
I mean, like, it's fucking dark.
Okay.
Rick and Morty is. It's like, I think the first couple episodes were like, okay, this is just going to be a weird series, you know, with these two and, you know, like family shenanigans. And then it's like, nope, we're on Adult Swim and we're going to get weird. And I don't want to describe anything, like I don't want to give anything specifically away, but I will tell you there is interdimensional travel.
Okay.
And shit gets dark.
All right. Like the darkest timeline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe like the darkest timeline, yeah.
Okay.
That's a good, yeah.
All right.
But I recommend it. I think it's funny as shit. I did not know what to think of it that first couple episodes, but the speech patterns of both Rick and Morty, I can't remember who voiced them, but the speech patterns were kind of annoying at first, and then once the series kind of gets going, you
get
kind of
used
get used
to
to it. Yeah. And what's his name?
Rick.
Yeah.
Morty.
No, I'm trying to think of an actor.
Charlton Heston.
No, not that guy.
Laurence Olivier.
Morgan Freeman.
Dark-haired male comedian.
Morgan Freeman.
Very milquetoast. White guy. What's his name?
Bill Hader.
No, close.
Well,
Jeff
Forte.
Dunham.
No.
Is he a Saturday Night Live alum?
He is.
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd.
No. God damn it. Chris Parnell.
Oh.
Chris Parnell.
Yes, you got it.
Cyril from Archer.
Correct. He voices the dad in the series, and like you immediately know it's Chris Parnell, and you're like, oh, there's Chris Parnell again. But it eventually works somehow, like, because he's kind of like can you believe what is actually fucking going on here? He gets a lot of that off, which I really like. Like Chris Parnell being exasperated is good Chris Parnell.
Chris Parnell really should have ended up bigger than he is. Like he's doing great with all the voiceover stuff, but like I just think about the scenes in Hot Rod where he's like that radio guy, and it is just some of the funniest shit in that movie.
Yeah, I concur. I know we're not we're mildly tangenting off onto TV, but I've been I don't know why I signed up. Well, I signed up for Hulu, the commercial-free version, because, you know, me, I hate commercials, and I was like, it's worth $4 a month not to see 1,000 of the same commercial over and over again. So I've been, for whatever reason, like anytime I've been sitting here watching anything, I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and when the episode he shows up on is one of the best.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that should have broken out.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, he was the other half of Lazy Sunday, and somehow that. Everyone forgets that, you know? It's weird.
Zero figures.
Yeah. The guy who voices Rick... Morty. Sorry.
Ampersand.
Yes. The guy who voices Ampersand. Oh, no, it's both. He voices Rick and Morty. Is the same guy that voices the Earl of Lemongrab from Adventure Time, and the speech patterns are very similar. between those three characters. Have you not? Are you looking up the Earl of Lemongrab?
No.
Okay. The Earl of Lemongrab is my favorite Adventure Time character. So. Anyhow.
All right. So, you want to give us some contact information so people can contact us and get in on all that Chuck action next week?
Boy, do I.
Well, go ahead then.
Okay, thank you. BMFcast.com. Look at the buttons on the right-hand rail. That's all our social stuff. Email is bmf@bmfcast.com. The Garfield phone BMFcast hotline is 910-5JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263.
Oh,
Sweet. Thanks.
You're welcome.
That was so concise. I wasn't prepared for you to be done.
I know. The days of my long-windedness are still upon us, but not for the contact information.
I like you took a while to get there.
That's the joke.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Okay.
Let's.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ for Chuck, and this is BAMFcast out.
You're BJ for Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, only for Chuck.
Yes.
Who are you? What are you for us?
He's just BJ.
I can't tell you.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't say Spachiman on the air when we were talking about it. Yes, Dr. Spachiman on 30 Rock was a great character for Chris Parnell. Tracy Morgan would always run in and go, Dr. Spaceman! It's Spachiman.
I didn't get to... Did you watch him on Saturday Night Live?
Who?
Tracy Morgan?
Oh, no, like him being back?
Yeah, didn't he do the season premiere?
I don't know. I've kind of just unfortunately taken Saturday Night Live out of my even radar. Like,
I was just curious how he's doing. Like,
I never even saw him on the Oscars when he came out, so
Really?
I don't know how he's functioning.
right.
Boop. Boop. I still say that's the greatest joke that anyone ever pulled over the censor's eyes. The 30 Rock joke. It's not a lemon party without old Dick. that is the greatest. That is the greatest joke that the censors was like, well, I don't know. That's just a thing.
Right.
I don't even know what that means. I almost died when that joke happened. I was so happy.
All right, then.
Yep.
I vote we go home.
Oh.
Boo! They
Duh.
want
Or we play more Rock Band and I finally get to play some drums.
I
Nah,
can
it's
do that.
11:45. I can't do it. Damn it.
All right. Shutting down the live stream.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Goodbye. I'll miss you.
Maybe we'll have Chuck back next time.
Let's hope.
Maybe.
I hope so. I miss Chuck.
I miss Chuck, too.
It's been a week since I've seen Chuck.
It's been like a little over 24 hours for me.
Aw. Did you
Did you
kill Chuck?
No,
Yeah.
I did not.
Did not.